Good day, everyone. For this report, I will be discussing two subtopics under Module 7. So just to recall, under this module, we learned all about the web, including how people read materials in here, how do we write for the web, how do we edit, among other topics. So this time, my topic is all about assessing readability. So medyo may math tayo dito onte. And secondly, writing for special audiences. So, ang una nating pag-uusapan ay assessing readability. As per definition, readability is the ease with which a reader can understand a text, be it in print or online. So, you might be asking, why do we need to assess this then? Kasi if we have gauged that the text is overly complex using the tools and techniques that I will discuss in a few, then it will help us identify areas for improvement, say simplifying it to make it more readable. According to Dawson et al., there are different systems or tools that allow automated calculation of how easy or difficult something is to read. Some of these are Dale-Schall formula, developed by Edgar Dale and Jean Schall, Fry graphs, developed by Edward Fry, Flesch reading ease index, developed by Rudolf Flesch, and Flesch Kincaid grade level, developed by J. Peter Kincaid and Flesch. Actually, there are a lot of formulas for us to assess the readability of a text, pero ang pinagkapare-pareho ng apat na systems na to, according to Dawson et al., is that all four are making use of the factors such as the total number of words in a piece of writing and the complexity of the sentences. May mga nakita rin ako online na formulas such as Gunning-Fugg readability, Coleman-Liao, readability index, Smug index readability score, and Lindsay-Wright readability formula, among others. Sige, so try tayo ng isa sa mga tools na to. One of the most popular, yung Flesch Reading Ease Index. This test uses this formula as shown in here. So 206.835 is a constant minus another constant, 1.015, multiplied by average sentence length. ASL here is calculated by the number of words divided by the number of sentences. And then minus another constant, 84.6, multiplied by the average number of syllables per word. This average number of syllables per word is calculated by the number of syllables divided by the number of words, okay? I hope it's somehow making sense. Sige, tuloy tayo. So, after we get the scores, we can refer to this table and interpret the results to understand the readability of the readability level of our text. In the Flesch Reading Ease test, higher scores indicate material that is easier to read, and the lower numbers mark passages that are more difficult to read. So let's have an example. Let's assess the readability of an article posted by Rappler about the entry of another tropical storm after Christine. There's a link to it too if you want to check on the side. So the word count in this article is 440. Note that every word should be counted including prepositions. There are 19 sentences sa bilang ko and 710 syllables. Using the formula, we can arrive at an answer of 47.1216 or 47 if we round it off. So based on our table, 47 is difficult to read, or kung ibabase sa school level, mga nasa college level ang readability. So what I've shown you is the manual process of computing readability, just so you understand, guys, how it's done, but we actually have an easier way to do so. Yes, meron po. Kasi kung mahahabang passages, it'll be hard for us to count the number of words, syllables, or even sentences, diba? So with this, you can also visit readabilityformulas.com. I'm not promoting the site. You can also try other calculators if you know one and comment it in our discussion. Pero dito sa nakita ko, all you have to do is paste the text and results will be flashed for different readability formulas. Okay, so going back, doon sa online article ng Rappler with a result of 47, is it ideal? Is it not? Well, it depends on your target audience. Kung mga bata ang target readers mo, most probably they'll have a hard time grasping the material. Kung mga nasa college, pataas naman, they will, well, likely understand this. But for general purposes, and since we don't know the demographics of our readers or who visit the website, it's best to use simple words instead and short sentences to ensure that the content is accessible to a wider audience and avoid alienating potential readers. To make the text simpler, we can follow the guidelines proposed by Dawson et al. First off, let's avoid using long words when shorter substitutes are available. Instead of writing utilize, write use. Instead of the word subsequent, use the term later. Don't use words with extra or padded syllables. You can say administer instead of administrate, oriented instead of orientated. If possible, use compact substitutes for long phrases. Pwede namang sabihing since instead of saying in the view of the fact that. That's quite long. Or using the word consider instead of saying take into consideration. Next, avoid combinations of words with the same meaning. Past history, the two words mean the same thing actually. End result, free gift. Free nga kasi regalo siya. True facts, etc. So, yun, that's the first part. We move forward to our next or second topic, which is writing for special audiences. This is crucial so we can effectively communicate our message even to those with unique needs and avoid misunderstandings. For example, if someone with dyslexia or a condition that mainly affects the ease with which a person reads or writes, it can limit his or her understanding of the information. So these are some of the suggestions presented by Dawson et al. To ease this. First, it is good practice to include a useful example alongside a search box to guide users who may not be familiar with the content of your site. For example, instead of having a search bar like this, itong nasa taas, this one, the website could actually have something like this one at the bottom. Kasi it's like giving them a hint or starting point, especially those with special needs na kailangan ng visual cues and clear instructions. Next, for most visually impaired people who have a partial or total inability to visual perception, enhanced descriptions are vital for gaining access to online collections. They could include color, a description of how a machine works, or the main elements of a painting, all of which are likely to be of interest to many more people. For example, instead of just describing this photo as a picture of sunset or just showing the photo alone, you can use the enhanced description below. It may also be possible to include spoken description as an audio file, which will be more informative and engaging than text read aloud by speech synthesis software. Similarly, for people with learning difficulties, images such as photos, drawings, or symbols can be used to support the text. These can be used to make the subject of your material clear at a glance, even to a non-reader. Even on a normal basis, as much as possible, we pair our text with photos to enhance understanding. So how much more when we're dealing with special audiences, diba? So at the fact that your website would be more engaging with visuals on it. Also, if a large number of visitors to your site are likely to be people with learning disability, consider using computer software symbols like widget or PCS. So widget looks like this. If you click on a word, it will show you the symbols that correspond to that word. So in the future, inclusive provision is likely to include sign language for deaf people, subtitles for hard hearing people, and many other viewers will find it useful. Audio description for visually impaired people na actually, if I'm not mistaken, inuumpisa na natin ngayon. All these and other means would likely and hopefully prioritize accessibility for individuals with special needs to create a more inclusive digital landscape. So yeah, that's on my end. If you have questions, comments, or things that you want to add, write it below and let's start discussing. Thank you.